What it do, YouTube? It's your boy NYC Mike, man, and I'm back with another reaction video. You already know what it do. And today we got another banger, man. You feel me? Another video by It's Complicated channel, man. Shout out to It's Complicated channel. They just hit 200k subscribers, so shout out to them. You feel me? We got another street interview reaction, man. And today we're gonna be talking about lonely men. You feel me? Now this video definitely caught my eye, you feel me? So I really just want to see what these females have to say about this. But before we get straight into the video, man, I need y'all to do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and most of all, make sure you turn on those post notifications so that you get notified when I upload a new video, man. So without further ado, we gonna hop straight into it.
Or a woman to acquire sex.
It is much easier for a woman to acquire sex.
Why is that?
Because we choose. We choose whether or not we have the option of whether or not we're gonna let a man have sex or not.
It's easier for women to acquire sex than men because females have more options. They have the one superpower that men don't have. They have the power of consent. Only females can give consent, not men. You get what I'm saying? So, of course, females are going to have more options when it comes to sex. And of course, it's going to be easier for them to acquire sex because, like she just said, they can choose whoever they want to have sex with. A man can't necessarily do that. You get what I'm saying? Unless he's high value. You know what I'm saying? He's rich and he has a lot of money. You get what I'm saying? But most men can't do that.
I don't think that that's necessarily true.
Don't women typically consent to sex?
Consent goes both ways.
Right. Well, let me ask you this: what's the long?
She's delusional, but he's about to put her in her place. Just watch.
What's that a man's ever made you wait for sex?
You know, it's happened. I don't know.
But does that typically happen?
Maybe. No, it doesn't typically happen.
Okay, so isn't it
Exactly.
fair to say that women generally control access to sex more than men
If
do?
a woman wants sex, she can get it. If a man wants sex, doesn't mean that he can necessarily get it.
Okay, so is it safe to
Okay.
say that women typically control access to sex more than men do? Because it's easier for
See,
women
look, you see, she don't know what she's talking about, bro. You always gonna have some females that's just, you know, they always gonna try to combat with you. You feel me? But listen, at the end of the day, it's easier for females to acquire sex than guys. You get what I'm saying? Females can have sex with whoever they want, while men can only have sex with who they can have sex with. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. You feel me?
get sex than it is for a man?
I don't like the phrasing that you're boxing me into, but
But I mean, I mean, do you have a different way of explaining it? I mean, is that not generally true?
I think that
I mean, if it's easier for a woman to get sex and it's harder for a man to get sex, we can't conclude that women typically control access.
okay, it's easier for a girl for sure. Yeah.
What took her so long to understand that?
Guys are thirsty.
Yeah. Since it's harder for men, should women be surprised that guys have lower standards for sex than women?
Not really, because I mean, they just want to get it in, right?
Yeah, real quick.
Don't women have the privilege of being more picky because they have more options?
I mean,
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't women have the privilege of being more picky because they have more options?
Yes.
Have you ever heard of an incel?
No.
An incel?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Have you ever heard of an incel?
For some of you that may not know what an incel is, it's basically it stands for involuntary celibate. So it's basically one of those dudes that they couldn't get cheeks even if they wanted to. It's like one of those type of dudes. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Okay, incel stands for involuntarily celibate, and it refers to a person who can't get any sex. Who is more likely to be involuntarily celibate, men or women?
Men.
Men. I think it's 1 in 3 men are not having sex right now.
In today's society, if a man goes up to a woman and asks her for her number or Snapchat, he's looked at as like a creep and a pervert. But if a woman goes up to a man, it's 100% okay, which is not okay to me.
Yeah.
Why are men shamed for not being able to get sex, but also shamed for trying to get sex?
That's a good question. I think it's the way they go about trying to get sex, because women want relationships. Well, I can't say all women, but a good amount of women want relationships. When you meet the men that just want sex, it kind of tarnishes everything.
Is it fair to shame men for being incels when women are the ones who control access to sex?
I don't think you should shame anybody for anything.
Is it fair to shame men for being incels when women are the ones who control access to sex?
No. Not at all.
Isn't that victim shaming?
Yes, 100%.
Isn't every man who's been rejected temporarily an incel?
Yes.
Is it fair to portray incels as lazy, immature losers because they don't conform to women's standards and selectivity?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Fucking incel.
If a man can't get sex, he might be made fun of and called names just for that. And then, well, also I think if a man does get a lot of sex, it might be like everyone praises him also for getting a lot of sex. So I don't really think that there's a whole lot of men out there that are getting shamed for having a lot of sex.
Is it fair to portray incels as lazy, immature losers because they don't conform to women's standards and selectivity?
Negative.
No.
Everybody is built different and has their own standards in life.
If a man does conform, does that make him a simp?
Negative.
No.
Why is it more acceptable to shame men for having low standards versus shaming women for having unrealistic high standards?
That is right. I'm speechless on that one.
Oh yeah, you kind of got me flabbergasted on that one.
Right, you fucking don't know what to say.
Damn. Survival of the fittest. Whoever seems like they're about to get it in, gets it in, and they continue their genes and whatnot. But besides that, like, I don't know.
So would you say, based on that, that women ultimately control the evolution of society?
Yes.
Based on the men that they choose?
Yes, it's because it's like the mating rituals. Like, they say yes or no in most breeds.
So
know,
then
like
how are we
species.
living in a patriarchy where men have all the power?
Just because that's how society was set up when women were supposed to stay home and take care of the kids and the guys went out and did all that shit and we're supposed to rely on them.
What is the longest you've gone without having sex?
Yeah, and it's because of that society was able to progress the way that it has. You know what I'm saying? But because of all of this feminist stuff, you got females out here thinking that they don't need men. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, with that kind of mindset, it's gonna make society fall apart. I mean, society's already falling apart. You got men out here thinking they can get pregnant. You feel me? You got men out here thinking that they can be women. You got women out here thinking they can be a man. And, like, you know, society is just gone, you know, crazy.
A year?
What is the longest by choice you've gone without having sex?
A year?
Probably like 18 years.
What is the
Wow.
longest by choice you've gone without having sex?
Probably like a month.
Who's more likely to lie about how long they've gone without sex, men or women?
Women.
Don't men lie about getting more and women lie about getting less?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't men lie about getting more
I
and
was just
women lie
about to
about getting
say.
less?
Yes.
Why?
Because we're seen as being tarnished for the more sex that we have.
Why are women who sleep around seen as sluts while men who sleep around are seen as studs?
Because men don't want to see that their woman that they have prospect to be interested in has been with every man.
Could it be because it's easier for a woman to be a slut?
No,
Well, don't women control access to sex?
they do, but there are many male sluts. They're just being praised for being that.
No. There aren't many male sluts. The average man is not getting no cheeks. Let's just be let's just be real. The average dude that's walking around probably works at McDonald's or something. The average dude is not really getting no cheeks like that, man. The men out here that are like considered sluts, as y'all would call it, those are high value men. Those are men that are rich and have a lot of money and status. You get what I'm saying? Those are the dudes that are getting a lot of cheeks and have a lot of options. Like, you get what I'm saying? Those are the only dudes that are out here getting cheeks like that. But the average Joe Schmo is not getting no cheeks. You feel me? The average dude that like probably lives in the hood or something and still lives with his mommy or something, it's not getting no cheeks, bro. Let's just be real. It's been statistically proven too. Like, come on now. Even now, like, you know, less and less men are having sex now. You feel me? And it keeps dropping too. It keeps dropping, you know, which is very concerning for our society. You feel me?
That way.
But isn't it harder for a man to be a male slut than it is for a woman to be a female slut?
Depends on the man.
Wouldn't you say that the high value man with lots of options
What?
are rare?
Yeah.
So then, wouldn't you say that it's more likely for your average woman to be a female slut than your average man?
Yes.
Women sleep with who they want, men sleep with who they can.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
What's the difference between shaming a woman for being a slut and shaming a man for being an incel? In other words, why are women shamed for having too much sex, while men are shamed for not getting any sex?
Well, women can't have sex without being attached in some way. It's just in our innate.
What do you mean they can't have sex?
Not that they can't have sex. They can't have sex without having some type of emotional attachment.
Why do you think men are
Yes, they can. Look at the porn stars. The porn stars, they have sex with a bunch of dudes that they're not emotionally attached to, but they still do it anyway because it's gonna bring them money. So what is she talking about? There are plenty of women out here that have sex with dudes that they're not emotionally attached to, but they do it to gain something else in return. You get what I'm saying? So I don't understand what point she's trying to make with that. I don't like, that's just not factual.
more likely to be able to have sex without feelings than women?
Because you guys are made to procreate.
The name is involuntarily celibate, so the man is not choosing.
Yeah, he doesn't have a choice for that one.
Oh,
but
yeah.
us females, we definitely have a choice to be a slut or not.
Well, because women control access to sex.
I control whether you take my clothes off or not.
We do.
Don't women have a choice to be a slut, but a man doesn't have a choice to be incel?
Yeah.
So then why would it be worse to call a woman a slut than it is to call a man an incel?
I don't know why it would be worse.
But our society labels it as worse.
They label being an incel worse than being a slut?
Well, in other words, a lot of women resent being called a slut when they have a
Correct.
choice to be a slut, but it's okay for men to be called incels when men don't have a choice to be an incel because men don't control access to sex.
I think men don't have the choice on what they're doing, but nowadays with social media going the way it is, women have actually embraced slut. And that's the problem.
Do you think women today are more interested in relationships or hookups?
You know, I would say more hookups today.
Why?
Because they have all these rappers, you know, saying, influencing them, like, trying to... Basically, they're trying to play the role as men, you know? They're trying to play us out of our money, and it's bullshit.
Me personally, I'm more interested in relationships. Women nowadays, I think, are more worried about their careers and hookups.
So if women are more interested in hookups, how can a man let a woman know he just...
And that's going to be the end of society. That will be the end of society. You feel me? And these females don't realize that what they're doing, you know, trying to act like a man and thinking that they're a man and they can do some of the things that men do, you know, it's not going to work, man. It's not going to work. You feel me? Society's going to fall apart. It's already falling apart.
wants to hook up without making her feel like a slut?
There isn't a way, no matter what.
So aren't we kind of damned if we do, damned if we don't?
Yes, you are.
Would you rather have the best sex you've ever had or the best food you've ever eaten?
Best food you ever eaten.
Yeah, food for sure.
Best food I've ever eaten.
I'm a foodie. I like.
Would you rather eat all the junk food you want without gaining weight or have unlimited sex without being slut-shamed?
Unlimited
Sex without being slut shamed.
Who are the bigger slut-shamers, men or women?
Women?
Why are there men who shame women for being sluts when men also complain about how hard it is to get laid? Are those the same men?
No. I think the men that are calling women sluts are looking for a woman that aren't sluts.
If a woman's body count doesn't matter, why is it typically the first thing women bring up to shame another woman they are jealous of? In other words, why would a woman ever slut shame another woman?
Because they know deep down body count does matter.
Yeah, they're just
Is the
being
main reason
delusional.
women don't want to be easy is because they don't want to be shamed? Or could it be that they don't want to relinquish their sexual power over men?
I don't think either one of those. I think the reason why women don't want to be easy is because we don't want to have a body count, because we want to find somebody that wants us for who we are, and the guys that we're looking for don't want a woman with high body count.
Why is it okay for women to feel entitled to be protected and provided for, but it's wrong for men to feel entitled to sex and intimacy?
I think after being provided for so long, and once you're comfortable in the relationship, that men are going to expect for you to be intimate with them at a certain point.
Are women doing men a favor by giving them sex?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
For a moment.
If a woman rewards a man with sex, why is there still pressure on him to perform and satisfy her?
I feel like men can be selfish, but girls will not come back if they're not like doing well. Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna just be honest. None of these girls are wifey material. Look at her. She's definitely not wifey material. This blue hair stuff that she got going on. You feel me? She got a lot of makeup on. Y'all know me. I'm not really a fan of makeup. I just find it very unnecessary. But, you know, on a special occasion, if we go out to eat somewhere and you wear makeup, then I'm fine with that. But if it's like a regular thing and you're always wearing it, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have a problem with it. Because why can't you just be natural? Why can't you just show your natural face? Why do you always have to have makeup on?
why should a man have to earn the opportunity to please you sexually?
Because women get to decide everything in other species, so why not human species?
Okay, but then if that's true, then why do we complain about being in a male-dominated patriarchy where men control women?
Because it's the hunter and gatherer type of discussion. Because we had to stay at home and wait for the men to come and hunt and bring that shit back to us for us to like cook and shit. So that's where it started.
Are there female incels?
I think so, maybe.
Would it be fair for society to shame a lonely old cat lady for being involuntarily celibate?
No.
How likely are men to have sex with a lonely woman out of pity?
Very
I guess it depends on who you ask. I'd say pretty likely.
How likely are women to have sex with lonely men out of pity?
Oh, unlikely. They just want men that are rich and famous.
How likely are women to have sex with lonely men out of pity?
Not so likely.
Why is that?
Because a woman wants a man that looks strong and feels strong, and she feels like she's going to be protected, and that's what they look for. So if you look like you're the weak one cowering in the corner, she's probably not going to go up to you.
Men think that there are these issues. Like, if you were more confident, or if you just, like, put yourself out there more, you just, like, whatever, just do it. I guarantee you, it doesn't matter what the woman's standards are. That's what they're attracted to.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So if you woke up to...
That's kind of true, but that's not mostly true, man. Listen, this is what it really boils down to, right? Your looks matter. You feel me? Don't listen to a woman that says that she doesn't care about your looks. Looks matter. They do. You know what I'm saying? No woman wants to be with a dude that is not attractive. You know what I'm saying? But she also wants to be with a dude that is, like the previous woman just said, is strong, is able to protect her, is able to provide and give her that security. You know what I'm saying? She wants to be with a woman that has 100% confidence in who he is. You get what I'm saying? She doesn't want to be with a man that is emotional and, you know, complains all the time. She doesn't want to be with a dude like that. You feel me? She wants to be with a dude that always has solutions and that can always get things done, no matter what. You get what I'm saying? That's what a woman wants to be with. You get what I'm saying? She over here talking about it doesn't matter what the woman's standards are. If your confidence is off the roof, she gonna mess with you. No, I don't. That's not true. That's not true. So for any dudes that's watching this, don't buy into that.
Tomorrow, and you were a guy and you wanted to get laid like most guys do, how would you do it?
I'd go to a bar, find a pretty girl sitting at the bar, sit down, and I'd ask them if I could buy them a drink. Literally. That's all you have to do. Make yourself there. Present yourself. Be confident.
I understand that, but if that was true, why would there be so many guys who complain about being stuck in the friend zone?
Because they're too busy trying to be the nice guy. They're not actually presenting themselves that they want this. They're looking like the friend, so we see them as a friend.
Do you prefer a man who is a gentleman or a bad boy?
I like a gentleman.
Is it fair to say women lust after bad boys that want to settle down with nice guys?
Yes.
How do bad boys treat women?
Like shit.
What's the difference between a man who spoils his woman and a man who's whipped?
What's the difference between a man that spoils his woman and a man that's whipped?
His level of consent and his part in happiness in doing whatever he's doing for his woman. If he's not happy doing it, if he's resenting her,
It depends on the authority that he puts down. Like, there can be a man that spoils his woman in a certain way. He takes her to dinner, he takes her out, he takes her on vacation. And then there's the men that literally bow down hand and foot for their women, that the women are running all over them.
If a woman expects to be spoiled, doesn't that mean she expects her man to be whipped?
No.
Do men shame each other for being whipped the same way women slut shame each other for being easy?
Yes.
I don't know about that. I do know that men will shame their friends for being whipped, and I think that's a problem with the patriarchy.
Does every incel hate women?
No.
Does every feminist hate men?
Probably, yes. Yes.
Does every incel hate women?
I don't believe every incel hates women. I think that they might be shyer than most men. I think more alpha males end up getting more sex than more beta males do.
Does every feminist hate men?
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
I'm not a feminist. I am more of a traditional woman, so I really can't speak on.
Wow. I mean, by your mindset and the way you think, I could tell you're a traditional woman. But I will say I don't really like all the tattoos you got going on. Maybe if you didn't have all those tattoos, you know, you'd be more attractive. But yeah. So is that the end? Let's see what this woman has to say, and then we're just gonna end the video off on that.
On the feminist woman, because I don't agree with most of them.
What is the patriarchy?
Patriarchy is... You're going to make me describe this.
How do you define it?
Well, the old white men who have deemed what is acceptable for men and women, the roles of men and women, social norms, beliefs. It's all back to old white men deciding for everybody.
But yeah, man, that's the end of the video, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Yeah, man, this is the society that we live in. So, you know what they say, you gotta adapt to what, you know, is around you. You get what I'm saying? So if times are changing, you gotta learn to adapt to it. You feel me? And if you can't adapt, then you're gonna be behind everybody else that was able to adapt. And, you know, then you wonder why you're not at where everybody else is. It's because you weren't able to adapt. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the end of the video, man. And I'm going to see y'all on the next reaction.